Hello, my name is Brooklyn Sizemore, and this video is for my MAT151 lesson plan final project. My lesson plan topic is similarity and tessellations from topic 4. The overview of my lesson plan will be that students will learn how to identify shapes by their lines and angles and will classify 2D figures based on the presence or absence of parallel or perpendicular lines. They will also be able to recognize right triangles and lines of symmetry in 2D figures. Students will also be able to create fractal figures and tessellations from different shapes. The national state learning standards in Ohio are that students will draw and identify lines and angles and classify shapes by properties of their lines and angles. They will draw points, lines, segments, rays, angles, right, acute, and obtuse, and perpendicular and parallel lines. They will identify these in two-dimensional figures. They will also classify two-dimensional figures based on the presence or absence of parallel or perpendicular lines, or the presence or absences of angles of a specified size. They will recognize right triangles as a category and identify right triangles. Finally, they will recognize a line of symmetry for a two-dimensional figure as a line across the figure such that the figure can be folded along the line into matching parts. Identify line symmetric figures and draw lines of symmetry. The objectives that I will be finding in my lesson plan will be that by the end of the lesson, students will apply concepts of similar triangles and similar figures. They will use similar triangles to find side legs. They will define, construct, and apply tessellations of the plane and create fractal figures, which are the objectives of topic 4. So academic language I will be teaching them will be similar triangles and figures, tessellations, fractal figures, lines of symmetry, lines, line segments, rays, acute, right, and obtuse angles, and perpendicular and parallel lines. Some materials I will need will be a PowerPoint, some guided notes, whiteboards and markers, notes for myself while presenting the information, workbooks, which are packets of definitions, examples, and questions for students to fill out together as a class. I would ask for students to volunteer and take turns to work through each question one at a time using a workbook. Some examples of tessellations, tessellation art assignment syllabuses, a 10 by 10 square of cardboard for each student along with scissors, protractors, and rulers. I would also create a multiple choice quiz, a multiple choice and written answer test, and a homework assignment. I would start the lesson with the PowerPoint presentation, which would be a brief introduction to the topic, which would also define new terminology with some guided notes for the students to fill out while I introduce the topic. I would also use a whiteboard to draw lots of examples of the information, of which I would give myself guided notes so that I could present correct information the whole time. I would ask the students if they had any questions at the end, of course, and then I would go into depth about the topic and give the students workbooks to fill out while we learn that I was talking about earlier. So the instructions of the activity would be that students will practice creating tessellations in an art project. I would show them examples of tessellations, both man-made and in nature, so that they would have a better understanding of what is expected of them, and then I would hand out the syllabus for this activity with instructions on how to complete the assignment, and they would be instructed to create templates of shapes out of cardboard to create their tessellations, which they would use the protractors, scissors, and rulers to create the templates with. Finally, I would assess the students on their knowledge by having them take a multiple choice quiz, which would be trade and graded so that the students could have a chance to learn what they did wrong. And then I would have the students do a homework assignment, which went over everything in the topic. And then I would have the students take a multiple choice and short answer test that I would grade on my own to get a better understanding of their understandings of the topic. And that's it. Thank you very much. That was my lesson plan for my final project in MAT 151. Thank you.